So today I would like to talk about my two favorite fuzz pedals, at least my favorite ones that I own. These ones are made by Mike Perra. For those who don't know him, he is the Analogman himself. So he's a very knowledgeable guy, and he put together all these amazing fuzz pedals and so many other pedals that he built himself. And he modified as well a lot of pedals for, you name it, from tube screamers to, Boss pedals. But he nailed it, in my opinion, these fuzz pedals. And I have two samples here today. They are really my go-to pedals for session work and live performance. So many artists using his pedals, and there are like a waiting list to get, I think, the King of Tone pedal. And so many others, and same for the fuzz pedals. So I'd like to start talking about the Peppermint Fuzz. The actual name of the pedal came out of a song, which, if I'm not wrong, it's the Incense and Peppermint by a band called Strawberry Alarm Clock, possibly one of Mike's, favorite bands. But he actually really did a very good job trying to get the tone from the fuzz that is used on that recording, which I believe is a 60s or late 60s band. So this is like a very classic sort of a maestro fuzz tone or Mosrite Fuzzrite kind of pedal. So it's like the early kind of fuzz, and it's very peculiar. But because Mike did a lot of good engineering in the pedal, like a tweaking and making it more tweakable and easy to use, friendly use, you can actually have some different kind of fuzz pedals on it in one same pedal. You can really get the late 60s fuzz face, which is pretty it's pretty neat, and that's why it's so versatile, this pedal. I can't recommend enough. So, and this is my second pedal, which is the Sunface NKT. This one is the red dot. They are both germanium transistors, right? And they all are, if I'm not wrong, they are like a NOS, which is new old stock. So they have pretty much the same characteristics of the fuzzes made back in the day. And yeah, so they are very tweakable, and I would like to show a little bit how I use them, in particularly for what sorts of kind of fuzz references that I use them. Like, if I would have to go for some kind of punk or grunge kind of approach, I would certainly use the Peppermint, because it just gives me that kind of option, and I can dial enough to get that kind of tone. As well as early, if you ever watch a motorcycle movies, they always have some fuzzy guitars, and that's pretty much what it does. You would get the essence of, even the Rolling Stones, which is a very good topic to talk about, because Keith Richards used a maestro tone, maestro fuzz tone pedal, which this one can get pretty much, in that kind of ballpark, the Peppermint. And the Analogman, the Sunface, it says already, because it uses face, so you can tell it should be based on a fuzz face pedal, which is, is pretty much like that Stevie Ray, Jimi Hendrix kind of a tone that you would go for. So yeah, I would say the Peppermint is more versatile, because you still can get the late 60s fuzz face, but this one is more specific, possibly easier to tweak, because you don't need to do much to just, is the fuzz face sound with the proper germanium transistor on it. I know that this one doesn't really get as clean when you actually roll the volume knob a bit down, but it keeps some sort of a uniform and smooth at the same time. If you're looking to acquire one of those pedals, or you're looking for, some more info, you can check the links below. It's very important to understand how to use the pedals, and nothing is sacred.
I beg your pardon?
Right? Just tweak and try to get the best sound you can, and something that you can use. It doesn't matter if it's a brilliant pedal and you can't find any application for it. These two great working tools, and I would say if I had to pick up one, I would stick to the Peppermint. By the way, the Peppermint was a gift from a friend. Thanks, Adam. So this is like my go-to pedal, really, and I can't recommend enough. If you see one of those and you're looking for a fuzz pedal, either more based on the early fuzzes like the Maestro fuzz tone, or the late 60s, early 70s fuzz face, the Peppermint is going to cover all that kind of the spectrum of fuzzes. So today I'm using my 1960s Japanese reissue. This is an early 90s, and the guitar is going straight into the pedal and then into the amplifier. I'm using my Victory V40 6L6s on it. Again, the amp is not too loud. This is my home studio. I can't really crank it up. Ideally, a fuzz pedal, you would use an amplifier that is already kind of cooking, you know, the sweet spot. But in this case, I'm using the amplifier fairly clean, so most of the overdrive is really clearly coming from the actual pedal. So here's my clean sound. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you're looking for a new fuzz pedal, so you have two great options here. I'm going to be leaving the links below the description, so you can do your own research and possibly buy from there if you want. And if you like this video, don't forget to press the like button, and for more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.